What if the Proxy isn't just some random person with weird powers? What if Helios Academy built us on a purpose to be something else entirely? A weapon, specifically a Void Hunter weapon. And what if the whole project went wrong and one of our classmates paid for it with their own life? I know how that sounds, but stick with me here because almost every piece of this is sitting in the game's lore right now, scattered across character pages, lore entries, and one very specific line dialogue that most people scrolled past. I just don't think anyone's put it together quite like this yet. And once you see the chain, I don't think you'll be able to unsee it either. Let's start with the thing that probably caught your eye too. No pun intended, Bell and Wise, our proxy, both have a very specific marking in their eyes. If you've spent any time around the Void Hunter title in this game, you'll notice that it's almost identical to the symbol tied to the Void Hunters. Yes, the original 7 Void Hunters. They're all given us this symbol and it's very similar to our eyes. Why? This isn't a fan theory floating around. People have been pointing this out for a while, asking flat out why Proxy's eye design lines up with the Void Hunter iconography. It is known, unresolved visual detail, not something I'm imagining, but something that even Comfy Blue and Dinglebop TV have talked about. Here's the official explanation we do have. Carole Arna, the Proxy's teacher and the one who basically raised them at Helios Academy, implanted smart crystalline lenses into Bell and Wise's eyes, connected directly to the brain. The official reason given is that it lets them sync with the Hollow Deep Dive system, also known as the HDD, and with the help of their Bangbo EOS, letting them control it in a remote way outside of the Hollow entirely.
You know why. For those 2 kids, I have to do it.
But here's the catch that nobody's talking about. The implants come at a cost. It massively reduces their ether aptitude and corruption resistance, meaning without their later upgrades, they couldn't even survive a hollow for more than few hours. This isn't a free upgrade from day one. This was the power with a price tag already attached to it. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Carole Arna isn't just the person who experimented on the Proxy. She's also the one who coined an entire theory inside this game's lore called Void Hunter weapons. Her theory is simple. Every Void Hunter weapon comes with an unavoidable price. Not a maybe, not a risk if misused, an unavoidable price baked into the weapon itself. And we already have 2 confirmed examples to back this up. Tailless Hoshimi Miyabi's blade, which is cursed because it causes the bloodlust in its wielder. It's fed on the lives of the Hoshimi family for generations, and using it drags its wielder into a homicidal frenzy. The fate of a Hoshimi, according to the lore, it's literal to kill. That's not a metaphor, that's an actual weapon. Described cost of carrying that weapon. Then there's the Qingming sword, wielded by Yi Shongguang. Immense power, but it causes irreversible memory loss and sensory deterioration the more she uses it. 2 completely different weapons, 2 completely different curses, but the same underlying rule. Both times, power in, something taken away is in return. So, the same person who studied the price behind the Void Hunter weapons is the exact same woman who implanted something into the Proxy's eyes. That comes up on its own documented price. Out of every researcher in this game who could have ended up raising the Proxy, it's specifically the one who built her entire academic reputation on studying weapons with hidden costs. That's not a coincidence. I'm not comfortably ignoring. That is the truth. It's in the game's lore, right? Here's the part that I think seals this theory. Helios Academy, the place that raised the Proxies and the place that did this implant, wasn't founded by some random scientist with no connection to any of this. It was founded by Professor RK.
Here, Professor RK, the founder of Helios Academy, responsible for discovering the common characteristics of Hollows, entered Hollow Zero to seek out the truth. As of the time this document was sealed, RK had yet to return from Hollow Zero.
Professor RK is one of the original 7 Void Hunters, the very first generation, from over 100 years ago. The same generation, the same era, and the same founding group we're talking about with Ramiel. So, Helios Academy's entire bloodline traces back to one of the 7 people who became Void Hunter in the first place. This isn't a school that happened to study hollows or stumbled into this topic. It's a school built for someone who actually held the title we are talking about from the very beginning. Every implant, every theory, everything Carole Arna would later build on, it all sits on the foundation laid by an actual void hunter. And it gets even more specific. Ramiel's full name is Ramiel Dam. There's a name, Lieutenant Colonel Dam, listed among the original 7 Void Hunters. She might be one of the literal founding 7, the same generation as Professor RK, the same generation that built on the Academy and then later experimented on us. Which means the woman who told the Proxy to go to Rose Califer and the founder of that school that built the Proxy's implants weren't just contemporaries. They may have known each other personally over 100 years ago. Now let's talk about the part where this gets darker. And honestly, that part convinced me to make this video. It's heavily implied in this game's own story that the Proxy was involved in a deadly incident back at Helios, where they lost control of their implants and transformed into something monstrous, an etheric entity or an etheric monster or etheric beast that likely caused the incident and killed some of their own classmates.
You're so afraid because you already know you're gonna kill me.
No, that's not it. I don't know. I never meant to. This is all because of you. I promise. Let me go.
The Proxy carries guilt about this. They're afraid of it happening again if they don't keep their ether powers under control. That fear isn't paranoia. It's based on something that already happened once. Sit with that for a second. A weapon grade implant designed by the same woman theorizing about void hunter weapons and their price goes catastrophically wrong and someone dies. That's not flavor text buried in some random side menu. That's the actual cost Carole Arna warned about.
The cost of that weapon will always be so heavy. This is for the greater good. For the last spark of humanity. Someone has to make that choice. I know.
Playing out on her own students in real time with real consequences they're still carrying around today. Every other Void Hunter weapon we know has already shown its price. This might be the moment the Proxy's price showed itself too. And here's a detail that takes from this similar pattern to something confirmed, not speculative. Near the end of Season 2, Samuel, Ramiel's Void Hunter weapon, actually merges directly with the Proxy's body. It transforms them into a powerful ethereal called the Scorched Horizon, strong enough to overwhelm their own friends in combat. Ramiel has to physically extract Samuel back out of them and revert the transformation. Think about what this confirms. A Void Hunter weapon that was able to merge with the Proxy's body and take over it. Not implant-styled power that resembles a Void Hunter weapon, an actual one, physically fusing with them on contact. If the Proxy's body wasn't built to be unusually compatible with this kind of power, that merge probably wouldn't have worked so completely, or not so fast. Season 3 actually confirms that the project didn't fail or get buried in the past. The Scorched Horizon incident proved that a Void Hunter weapon can fuse with the Proxy's body. Now, there's a second power doing something similar, except this one isn't borrowed, and nobody had to extract it back out. It's called Pyrois. Pyrois isn't a new outfit or a new sidekick. It's described as an energy-based combat entity called the Etheric Other that manifests itself behind the Proxy, a power that Helios implanted in Weizen Bell that stayed dormant until now, only resurfacing as Season 3 begins. Think about what this actually means. The Proxy doesn't just carry a Void Hunter style implant anymore. They can manifest an entire etheric other or a combat avatar from it. That's not just inspired by a Void Hunter weapon. That's functionally what one looks like. And the power lives partially inside of the Proxy itself, dormant most of the time, and partially takes its own shape. That's exactly the same structure as a sword that lives alongside a bloodline, just expressed differently. If Tailless is a cursed sword that lives alongside the Hoshimi bloodline, and Qingming sword is a blade that slowly eats Yeshung Wang's memory, Pyrois might be the version of that same concept Helios deliberately engineered. They did not simply found it in a hollow somewhere, not discovered, not inherited. They built it with a purpose to implant it into these two children, or these two proxies. As for how it works with the proxy's implant, I have my own theory. I believe the proxy's implants serve as a bucket or a container to store the artificial etheric beast, or the etheric other, called by the game, created by the Helios Academy, in this case, Pyrois. Now, why does my theory make sense? Remember when we merged with Thamuel, Ramiel's weapon? Yes, I know, we're coming back to the point a lot, but this scene exposes my theory. Let's understand what actually happened. Thamuel entered Proxy's body and replaced Pyrois, who in theory was sitting in a container, or what we call eye implants. Hence, Pyrois came out of the Proxy's body and then took control of them, whereas Thamuel was now sitting in the container replacing Pyrois. That's exactly the reason when Ramiel extracts back Thamuel, Pyrois enters the container back, rather than being in the control of the Proxy's body. One more thread before we wrap up, and I think it's the one that ties everything together. It's been confirmed that the Void Hunter weapons are connected to the creator somehow. That's why the creator has been so fixated on both the Tailless and the Qingming sword specifically out of everything in this world it could have its attention on. And the creator's reach was directly involved the night Helios Academy fell. Carole Arna was abducted by one of the hands of the creator, while the academy was under the siege of armed troops, monsters, a faction devoted to the creator. That's not a separate, unrelated event happening to coincide with the Proxy's backstory. That's the creator's influence, reaching directly into the exact building where this implant program was being run. So, if the Proxy's implants, and now Pyrois, function the same way an actual Void Hunter weapon does, that might exactly be the reason why the creator has had its attention on the Proxy this entire time. Not because they're special, not because of random chance, because they might be exactly what it's looking for. The same way it has already been looking for the Tailless and the Qingming sword. To recap the chain, because there's a lot here, a Void Hunter founded the Helios Academy. The Academy's lead researcher theorized that the Void Hunter weapons always carry a price. That same researcher implanted something into the Proxy's eyes that mirrors the Void Hunter iconography exactly, and it already has a documented price. It went wrong once, possibly fatally killing a classmate, and now it's completely manifesting itself as a full combat entity called Pyrois. The same year, an actual Void Hunter from the founding generations just resurfaced and pointed the Proxy towards one city where this might all get answered. I don't think the Proxy stumbled into this power. I think they were built to carry it. Possibly an attempt to create a Void Hunter without the original cost, and possibly as the thing that failed and started everything we're watching unfold in Season 3. If you think I'm onto something, or if you think I'm reaching, say so in the comments, because I want to keep pulling on this thread in the future videos as Season 3 drops more patches. Subscribe if you want to be here when we find out if I was right, or maybe your theory would be. Comment down what you think.